What's up, Facebook? Time now is 9:22 a.m. Now you've been following my other videos, you'll notice that this video is being shot from a different location. That is because after 5 long days, I'm finally back at work. So obviously everything went well and now I'm back at work. So that's a good thing. So with that out the way, I'd like to introduce you to another segment of Just True Reality. I am your registered therapist, Raz. Today's topic is pertaining to friends falling in love with friends. Now, that's not very uncommon in this generation or previous generations. It's just something that happens, You might find yourself in a situation in which you develop deeper feelings to your friend. Now, bigger question is, how do you deal with it? Well, I'm here to shed some light on it. I'm not a valid expert on it, but I'm going to tell you some insight on things I picked up, on my 25 years of life. Yeah, it's not a long time, but I'm here to let you know a little bit of things, maybe to help you in your quest to get that one that could possibly get away. Main point one is to make sure that you're both emotionally invested. I can't stress this enough because the fact of the matter is, make sure that if you're feeling them, make sure they're feeling you in the same way. I've seen situations in which you're more invested than the person just sees you as just a friend. Now, with that being said, I'm not saying give up in a sense, but I'm also saying that if that is the case, you might want to take a step back. You don't want to keep pursuing because you're going to end up driving a wedge in your friendship and make things awkward. If you really are that determined in trying to make something of it, I suggest you back up and reevaluate. Is it worth it? Pros and cons of this is basically, say that you do somehow manage to get it past the phase and y'all both feel the same way. You also got to think in the mindset of if it doesn't work out. Because it's not just a relationship, you're also dealing with a friendship too. Will your friendship be able to be salvageable if it doesn't work out? So you also got to take into consideration, is it worth it? Are you willing to take that gamble and go down that road if it don't work out? There are pros, there are cons. I'm going to try to tackle the pros as much to my best of my ability as far as progressing this goes. There's really no step-by-step progress as far as getting them to say a definite yes. That's your friendship, that's your relationship. Only you would know, based on how y'all interact, is it worth more than what it is. Pros to this development is it's not really an awkward phase if y'all do develop past it. You're friends, you've been friends for X amount of time, so it's easier to deal with because you're friends, so you don't have to deal with the whole getting to know you phase, the whole thing. Some people skip the whole cupcake phase in which, a person could do no wrong because you've been around them for so long. It just comes as natural chemistry. That's why you were friends in the first place. You have a natural chemistry to be around each other. Cons are, you also take on this person's negativity as far as this person's weak traits. And then you got to think to yourself, in the long haul, are you going to be able to deal with these negative traits and all? I've seen people get together, and because something they can accept as friends, they can no longer accept why they're together, and that kind of ruins the relationship. You also got to take consideration, like before, you have to figure that if your relationship goes south, is your friendship still salvageable? You got to take that into consideration, because if the relationship is not, the friendship should be the main thing. Is why y'all together, because y'all click on a friendship vibe. Y'all feel it can be more than what it is. If it fails, can your friendship be salvageable? I've been in situations on both sides in which we had a friendship, it developed into something more, and then it ended. And it was just so bad that we went separate ways. But I've also been in situations in which I'm friends with people today that I've developed a friendship with. It developed into something. It didn't work out, but we still retain a healthy friendship, which is good. That's always the route you want to take if it don't work out, because you put in a lot of time and effort building off a friendship, and you don't want to lose a relationship and a friendship. Now, you also got to think in the mindset, if it don't work out, you don't want things to be awkward as far as, you look at this person every day. I've also been through that a lot. you know, you have to look at that person every day, and it's like you have a deep feeling for them that can never be expressed. You're young. You'll bounce back. You might be hurting now. You might be feeling some type of deep hurt, like you feel like your world's been ripped apart. It's not that deep. We're young. Some of you may be old. I don't know how old you are watching this video, but you're young. You can always come back. It's always more fish in the sea. It's not the end of the world if your friend tells you no. I think more or less it probably hurts more because it was your friend and you feel it'd have been easier. But not everything works out in that favor. So you gotta expect that you're going to just to hear no. If you hear yes, that is good for you. That is great. You know, you want to roll to build something and make something of a friendship to something of a bigger scale. But you also got to take consideration that you're not going to get a yes all the time. So I wouldn't say mentally prepare for that, because there's certain ways you have to prepare for that. But you also got to put in the mindset, though, it's not a definite. Because you're friends, you're going to get that. Because you could be traveling down that road by yourself, and it's not a good road to travel on when you really think that you're more invested than your counterpart or your friend. You feel as though it's not going to work in that way. So my advice pretty much is pretty simple. Like, make sure that y'all both are on the same page as far as developing this passive friendship. Make sure that, you know, you prepare for the worst. As you prepare for the best, prepare for the worst, because you might, you know, it might go south. If the friendship is if you feel the relationship is not that big of a deal, retain the friendship. The friendship is the key component in this. You also gotta, like, if you feel your friendship overall is more important, I wouldn't suggest going down this road, because things change in a relationship versus a friendship. You think everything is common, because you're cool with them, because you know it's easy to be around them, it's just be easy to deal with. I think in that case it'd be that much harder to actually deal with it if it don't work out in your favor. So try your best. If you feel you can take that shot, take the shot. But if you feel as though your friendship is way more important, I would not advise trying to travel down that road, because it's a road few travel on, because there's so much to gamble and so much to lose other than an everyday relationship. So this is, like I said, just, you know, try. You can take your shot, but weigh everything. Another thing, a list. A list could be the easiest thing to determine for even worth making that initial step forward. Pros and cons. I know y'all seen that movie, Why Did I Get Married? You make a pros and cons list. If the pros outweigh the cons and the feelings are mutual, go for it. But if the cons weigh out the pros, I wouldn't advise it. No one would advise it. This has been another segment of Just True Reality. I am a residential therapist, Raz. Like you're saying, our motto is around here, stay the fuck out your feelings. But in this case, you are in your feelings.